This week's guest is Amie Corbin of Lola Cross Stitch, and the show is made possible by the Embroiderers Guild of America at egausa.org. If you are an EGA member, consider making a year-end tax-deductible gift on Giving Tuesday, December 3. If you're not yet a member, consider adding a gift when you sign up. Gifts are a good way to help ensure that the EGA continues to move the needle and thread art form forward. Though the 2025 National Seminar has just ended, it's time to start thinking about the 2026 event. It will be October 9 to 14 in Orlando, Florida. Visit Seminar Central on the EGA website to see all of the upcoming classes. They are an outstanding collection of stitching learning opportunities. Also keep in mind that the EGA is now offering an annual pass to all of the 2026 virtual lectures. For just $50, you'll be automatically registered for each of those lectures. Enrollment is open until January 16. Visit egausa.org to learn all that EGA has to offer. Thanks to the folks at EGA for supporting Fiber Talk, and now our conversation with Amie Corbin of Lola Cross Stitch. Before we start our conversation with Amie Corbin, I want to call your attention to an effort she's making to generate support for Meals on Wheels. Amie has created a set of 3 Christmas ornaments titled A Very Bigfoot Christmas. You can get the charts for these creative ornaments simply by making a donation to Meals on Wheels between now and November 30, 2025. All of the details are at lolacrowcrossstitch.com. Welcome back. I'm Gary Parr.
And I'm Cindy Baldwin.
And you are listening to Fiber Talk, the twice-weekly podcast for needlework artists. Artist this week from Lola Cross Stitch is Amie Corbin. Amie, welcome.
Hi, it's great to be here.
Oh, thanks for doing this. Yeah, this is cool stuff. When I said to Cindy that we were talking to you, she immediately recognized your work. So, yeah, she's a fan.
That's because I have Deadly Aquarium.
Oh yeah. Did you do the stitch along, or did you get the pattern after the stitch along was done?
I did it during the stitch along. I haven't actually stitched it. It's just in the pile.
Yeah.
But one of our Needlepoint Guild members has stitched the last 3 sals, I think.
Oh wow.
She just finished the what was the last one this year? The birds.
Birds. Extraordinary birds. Yeah.
Really, really neat.
Oh, thank you so much.
So yeah.
So you have all the parts.
All the
parts for one. Yeah.
They're cool stuff. All right, we'll get to those sals in a minute because I'm curious about those. But it's interesting to me. We've interviewed several people. I've really developed a habit of pointing with this pen, and I got to stop it. It's ridiculous. I don't know what the deal is. I'm putting it down. We've talked to several people who came from the fashion and costume world and then got into designing. Most of them, though, a lot of them have been from Europe, and it was surface embroidery of some kind. And I don't know that we've had anybody move from to cross stitch design. You may be a first in that little niche thing there, but the fashion and costuming. How'd you get started in that?
So it was kind of a strange start. I was actually in an amateur belly dance troupe, and we would perform at events.
Wait a minute. What? Seriously? Cool. That's cool stuff. Oh, that's cool stuff.
Yeah, me too.
I know it's kind of a weird place to start, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and so we used to perform all over, and I'd make a lot of my own costuming for the troupe. And there was just a huge community that was built up around it. People going to festivals, a lot of people taking classes and wanting to dress up and perform. And so there was this whole kind of mini industry that had built up around this world. And I had been sewing forever, and as I said, was making my own costumes, and I kind of saw an opportunity there, and I quit my job and I started a business making dance costumes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, so you got all the beading and all the trim work. I mean,
Oh, no, no, no. I did
no.
more of sort of a fusion style, so it was
Okay.
not quite as glitzy. Um, a little more stripped down. I did a lot of ruffles and lace and that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
So it
learned.
was more sewing based than beading based.
Okay. So
Mhm.
you learned sewing what from mom, grandma?
From mom and grandma.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I don't remember a time I wasn't sewing. I mean, my mom is phenomenal. She could teach a home ec class. And so I was really lucky to be able to grow up with that. And she got me sewing really
Right.
young. So I've just
Oh,
always done it.
that's cool. Make
Nice.
your own clothes through school?
I did. I did
Yeah.
when I was older. Yeah.
Oh.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So you were that kid where you had your
I was, yeah.
I don't need your store-bought stuff. I'll make my own. Thank you very much. Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
that's
I was that
cool.
kid.
Yeah. So then you actually built a business then because it what 12 years so you were built a business. Was it
I
always
did.
just belly dancing or did you expand elsewhere?
I did some Latin dancing too, and just some stage costuming. I costumed a dance stage show locally, and yeah, so I kind of tried to expand. And then, trends started changing, and I was trying to get more into a broader streetwear market.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and so I did a little bit of that before I transitioned to cross stitch too.
Oh, okay. Do you when you do for dance and for stage, is there an extra effort? This is just a weird thing that gets in my head because I think of the seams that can
Hmm.
rip with all that motion. Is there an extra effort or tricks that you do to make sure those seams don't come undone in the middle of a performance?
Yes. So most of what I was stitching was knitwear, and knitwear is stretchy. So if you stitch on stretchy fabric and you pull it, you know the seams will break.
Yeah.
So absolutely everything I had to make on a serger. Um,
Oh.
so it was definitely more about having the proper equipment to work with those types of fabrics. And, obviously if it was something where the seams were in a critical spot, I would try to reinforce them or do additional zigzag stitches or, various things to allow some stretch in the material.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it is a conscious effort then to
Oh,
watch that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. You have to be really careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always wonder about that because that'd be the last thing I'd want to have happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and
No.
Yeah.
not only
No
that, you
wardrobe
also have,
malfunction.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you also have to think about the fabrics in motion and how they're going to move. So there's that element of it too. It's not just the wear and tear and stretching on it. It's also, how is the body going to move in the fabrics?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you get okay. So you get that mixture of engineering and art at the same time. Then.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. A
Okay.
little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 And so when you were doing this, did you get to the point where you were just working full time making costumes?
I was full time.
Yeah.
I quit my job and I dove in and I went full time from the beginning. And
Just went for it.
it was kind of one of those things. I'd saved up enough money to kind of go for a while, and I thought I'm just going to give it a shot. And if it works out, great. And if not, I'll we can always go back to doing what I was doing before. And so yeah, I just dove in, and I've been full time running an artistic business ever since.
How fun! Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Have you been able to did you do it by yourself at home, or did you get to the point where you had to have employees?
I mostly just did it by myself at home
Okay.
because it was still pretty small and niche. Occasionally, I had some sewing help, but
Yeah.
mostly just out of my home studio.
Oh man, what
Mhm.
fun! All right, so
Yeah.
then okay,
Yeah.
then the obvious question then why end that and go on to cross stitch? The
Yeah.
things moved on, the industry moved on. I gather.
Yeah, it was really out of necessity because I found that for starters, the industry was moving on. And then as I was kind of trying to transition more into the streetwear market, the pandemic happened. And
Jeez.
we all know what that
Here we
meant
go.
for business. Certainly anything associated with performance went away. So the costuming was non-existent at that point.
Right.
Right.
And, even just trying to run any kind of retail clothing store at that point was incredibly difficult. And
Yeah.
it was just, everything kind of stopped. We went on lockdown and everything stopped. And it was depressing, it was challenging, and I kind of felt like I needed a new creative outlet, something to channel that creative energy into that felt like there was some sort of future. And
Yeah. Had you
I had
felt that?
kind of,
Had you felt that coming on even when you were making
yeah,
costumes?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it was definitely changing towards the end. The pandemic was kind of the final nail in the
Yeah.
coffin at that point. Yeah.
But you were artistically though. Were you feeling like you needed to do something else, or were you
Um,
still okay?
I was getting a little tired of it.
Yeah.
It was kind of physically demanding because I was doing a lot of the sewing. I was traveling around the country and vending at events, which was pretty exhausting. And I was kind of getting to a point where I was ready to move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that physical thing, that after a while, your hands and arms and
Oh,
back,
yeah.
yeah,
It's tiring. Yeah.
grinds on you. Yeah.
It does. It does.
Did you already have cross stitch? Were you already cross stitching, or was it?
Yeah, I've cross stitched all my life. That is another
Oh.
thing that my mom got me started when I was really little. It was adorable. She would draw X's on fabric when I was really, really little, and I would cross over them, and that kind of evolved later to counted cross stitch. And I kind of had always done gifts for family members at Christmas, and so I'd had projects going. I did a Teresa Wentzler when I was in high school, and kind of started doing big multi-year projects. So it's kind of been one of those crafts that I've always come back to and done on and off throughout my life.
Yeah. Now you
Yeah,
have a science background, but you
I
clearly
do.
have an artistic talent. Did
Oh,
you?
thank you.
I mean, it's obvious. I mean, I'm not just sucking up to you here. It's obvious that you have a talent. Is that just a natural thing? It just comes to you, or did you do some studies?
Yeah. I've never had any official art training. I've taken a few classes here and there, but nothing formal. I've just kind of done it all my life. And
Yeah.
when I was young, I did every type of art and craft I could get my hands on. And so I've just kind of always done it.
Okay, that's annoying. Great.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot of work and a lot of practice. It's not
Yeah.
just,
Yeah.
it came from,
Yeah.
the ether. It's, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So I've worked at it a lot throughout my life.
Yeah. So then cross stitch to cross stitch other people's designs. You've been doing that all along.
Yeah.
So then the pandemic basically says to you, try doing some of your own designs. Then.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Like I said, I wanted some sort of other creative artistic design outlet. And it was a combination of things. The pandemic happened, and I had lost my sweet cat of 18 years at the same time, and I wanted to do something to honor my time with her too. So I started designing patterns that you know were about what life is like with a cat.
Yeah.
And that was kind of it was a little bit of all these things coming together, and that's
Some therapy there too, huh?
some therapy,
Yeah.
some creative outlet. I had kind of always thought about selling my designs when I started, but I thought, well, I'll just give it a try and see how it goes. And
People love cats.
right,
Yeah.
well, they should. Cats are
Yeah.
lovable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you did those initial designs, just obviously just for you initially, but did you start sharing them with people, or how did you? Because I mean, at some point you got to create a demand here.
Yeah, so I didn't start sharing them with people until I started selling them. So I started
Oh,
an Etsy shop. And I really just started by putting 2 or 3 designs up there. My first that I started working on went through 3, 4, 5 iterations before I really felt like I could, put them up to
Mhm.
sell. But I kind of tested the waters. I put a few of them out there to see what the demand was. And I had one pattern that kind of sold right away and got some traction. And that was encouraging. And it just
Mhm.
kind of pushed me to do more. And my cat window series that was kind of the start of it all, that ended up doing really well for me, and it just propelled me forward. And I wanted it to work out, and I really worked hard at it, and I dove in and just kept going, and I loved it. And I was just, yeah, it fit. It really
Yeah.
fit.
Yeah. What's that like when that first sale comes in? That must be a
Oh,
real.
it's so good. It was so good. And
Yeah.
the Etsy app has this cha-ching sound
Oh, it does.
Oh.
that
Oh.
tells you when a sale's come through. Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. And when I was looking at your designs, I mean, you can tell that you work at it because the early designs, and then you can see the advancement, the development, the evolution in your designs. You can see it grow.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Oh yeah, no, it's very
Yeah.
obvious and quickly. I mean, what 5 years here?
Mhm.
Quickly to some very. I mean, I like your stuff. I actually got to get a couple of them, but yeah. So it was work hard to get started, but then obviously you didn't let up on yourself. You didn't ride the coattails. You pounded away
Yeah.
at it.
Well, yeah. I mean, as an artist, you always want to push yourself and see what you can do and try to improve. And absolutely, I'm full time, and so I do work a lot on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you force yourself? Do you have like a day, a schedule of the day? I mean, I get up in the morning and I design and stitch in the evening, or how do you make sure you keep all the balls in the air?
Sort of and sort of not.
Okay.
One thing I love about being self-employed is that I can kind of have a flexible schedule, and I love to stay up late and sleep in. So I get up, and I sometimes I kind of go with what I'm feeling. If I'm feeling like it's a design day, I'll work on that. If I'm feeling like I just want to stitch that day, I'll do that. I do stitch a lot in the evenings. That's kind of a nice way to wind down for the day.
Yeah.
And of course, with a business, there's a lot of bookkeeping and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, and social media and other demands that are required. So I have deadlines, so I have to stick to a schedule in terms of getting deadlines done. But I wouldn't say day to day that I'm that rigid about my scheduling.
Yeah. Okay. You just let it
Yeah,
let it
I
flow.
just kind of
Yeah.
let it go. Yeah,
Oh, that's nice. That's
Nice.
nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you as you've developed and now you have a nice catalog? How do you keep that business end of things from intruding on the design work?
Yeah, I've actually thought about that question a lot. Like that's really tricky because whenever you're doing art commercially, there's kind of an extra element there because you really want to express your creativity and you want to be honest in your creative expression, and you have to do that or you won't be successful commercially. But at the same time, you have to kind of think about, okay, I need people to buy this, and this is a business as well. And so there's a lot of, I feel like it's important to bring in some objectivity there and keep at least a little bit of a wall between your creativity and the business side of it, while still, obviously paying attention to what's going on with the business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's got to be tough, though. Got to be
it
tough.
is. It is. And yeah. And
Yeah.
we artists are all a little moody and emotional. And so it definitely makes it a little tough.
It's in the genes. You can't help it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's, you think about it because so much of your stuff, or virtually all of it, is PDF download, but then you
Hmm.
also do printed pieces that people
Hmm.
can get through shops. So you got a printer to deal with.
Yeah,
You got all the instructions and it's all got to get put together, and all of that just sucks up incredible amounts of time.
it does. It does.
And
Formatting
yeah,
charts and, all of that. Formatting charts that takes a long time.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people use Pattern Keeper and software, so you want to be
Right.
compatible with that as well, and you kind of have to keep up to date with what's going on there. And yeah,
Right. Yeah.
but
It was. I don't know if it was researching you or somewhere else, but someone asked if charts were Pattern Keeper compatible. I don't use it,
Mhm.
so I don't think about it. And I thought, oh man, there's one more thing that you got to pay
yep,
attention to. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
No,
Endless.
but
Yeah.
I mean, running any business is kind of like that, though. I mean, it's
Right.
part of the deal that you're going to spend a certain amount of time on the business
Right.
side of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So to the creative end of things, just a head full of ideas, and you can't get them done fast enough.
I kind of, yeah,
Yeah.
kind of, yeah. I test stitch all of my own pieces, so I'm not
Wow.
particularly prolific. I focus, spend a lot of time on each piece. And so I definitely feel like I have more that I want to do than I have time to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you sketch them and then chart them, or?
I don't. I draw directly in MaxStitch, which is the software that I use for charting.
Oh.
Yeah, I draw directly
Wow.
there. I think it's just easier for me to think about it in pixels from the beginning if that's what it's ultimately going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I was interested to see that you use Cosmo Thread.
Yeah, so I actually did a collaboration with 5 other designers.
Oh, and we got to hear the
And
story of that. We got to hear about that. But talk about Cosmo Thread first,
well, this is yeah, okay. This is actually how I got there. I
or
had
tell the
never
whole
used
thing.
I had never used Cosmo Thread before, and this collaboration was to introduce people to Cosmo and promote it. And so it was kind of an opportunity for me to give Cosmo a try. And I mean, it's absolutely beautiful and really vibrant. It was an interesting switch for me because everything I design is pretty much in DMC.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Cosmo Thread. I think it's
Yeah,
great.
I
it's
do too.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I wish it were more widely available
Right.
in the States
Right.
because it's a little hard to get your hands on sometimes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. That
Quilt.
was.
yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Quilt shops carry it or sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That. But then the last time I needed black, um, I couldn't. I called all the quilt shops within a half-hour drive. No, nothing. And then
Everybody
Yeah.
was out of it.
yeah. And then
Oh,
what was the one you got it from, Cindy? That you hooked me up with.
Snuggly Monkey,
Yeah. That
which
was
is a
the
quilt
place.
shop.
Yes. Yeah, that was the place. And then they're my main supplier, Cosmo Thread now. Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snuggly Monkey. Yeah, and they ship fast.
They
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, they're terrific. They have it. They have it all. So yeah, yeah. But no, it's great thread. Yeah, if people could just go get it from a local
Right.
store. Yeah.
Right.
And of course, from the local store perspective, you want me to carry one more line of thread? You got to be
I
kidding me, you know?
know. I know it's tricky for the stores. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough.
Right.
Yeah. So this
Yeah.
collaboration then that introduces you to Cosmo Thread,
hmm Yeah.
and
That's what did it.
yeah. So
That's what did it.
do you like? I haven't seen one of your charts. So you chart DMC, but then do
hmm
you also put a Cosmo conversion or
No, I
no?
don't. A lot of my gradients are pretty rigid in terms of, how they're going to blend together because I do a lot of shading around the edges, and I feel like
Mhm.
it's really tough to get a conversion that's going to
Yeah.
represent that accurately. So I don't
Hmm.
usually put conversions.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And then this collaboration. Well, the one that I noted was Under the Sea.
Yes,
Uh,
that's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one.
So how does that come about? I mean, because there's half dozen people in here, right?
I know, I know. Well, the designer community, we're all kind of friends. We talk to each other. We've done collaborations before. We get together and do charity collaborations. So we kind of all know each other. We chat, and the organizer Amanda DeLong of Bad Stitch just reached out to me and asked if I wanted to be in the collaboration. She's the one who organizes it. She's done several of these collaborations so far, and yeah, she reached out to me and asked, and I knew all the designers in there, and I was really happy to work with them because
Yeah.
they're a great set of designers.
Yeah.
And then it was purely collaborative. We voted on the floss colors. We worked out a bunch of palettes and decided between us what we wanted to work with, and we submitted our ideas to each other and got feedback, and yeah, it was a great experience.
Because that's right. That's the thing about that collaboration is all the designs. It's a set of colors that
hmm
all the designs stick within that set of colors, right?
Yeah, we all used the same 12 color floss palette from Cosmo. And the idea was that shops
Wow.
carrying that pattern booklet could order the floss pack. Customers could buy the floss pack and then have the floss they need for all 6 patterns that were in the collection.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fun. It was
Yeah.
fun.
What's that like to work with designers? Because how do you make sure that maybe it's just because you're not in the same room with them, but make sure that you're doing your own design and not getting influenced by their work?
I mean, whenever you're in an artistic community, there's some level of influence happening because you see what other people are designing. And it's kind of, trends happen too. So everyone's kind of designing around similar trends. I think we just all respect each other and we are open and talk to each other. And that's critical. And everyone in this designer community really believes in community over competition.
Okay.
And so we're supporting each other. We're talking about each other's businesses and want each other to succeed. And I think that that's really at the heart of making it work in a collaboration.
Yeah.
When you're doing that, do you feel competitive? Like, oh, am I going to measure up?
Oh yeah. I always feel like, is it going to
Okay.
be good enough? And there's when you're working with other people, there's extra pressure to make it really good too, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want to
Oh,
let them down either.
yeah. Yeah. You don't
Yeah.
want to be
Right.
that one, like, who designed that?
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man,
Well, and
that'd be tough. That'd be tough. I'd struggle with that.
and 12 colors isn't very many to design with.
It's
It's
not, and the pieces were tiny. They were only, I think the limit was 60 by 60, something like that. They were
oh,
tiny
Oh,
okay.
designs. Um, so yeah, definitely 12 colors was hard for me because I tend to do broad color gradients. But they were, we all picked these vibrant neon colors, and they were just fun to work with. So I think everyone did a great job, and yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
From what I saw, they look like a fun collection there.
It
Yeah.
was fun. It
Yeah.
was really fun.
Do you have to monitor yourself when it comes to colors when you're doing a design so you don't get yourself out of control?
Yes,
Okay. All right.
absolutely. Because, if I were just making something for myself, I would make 50, colors for a teeny
Uh-huh.
tiny design. But I have to be mindful of the fact that other people need to stitch this and are buying colors. So what I do is I kind of design. I pick my colors and I design, and then I really think about, do I need this color? Do I not? Am I served by having, 5 different browns, or can I get away with 4 different browns? And if I find that the color is necessary, I keep it. I mean, I don't shy away from using as many colors as I need, but I'm very mindful of not being excessive with the
Mhm.
colors in my designs.
Yeah.
And I do
Because
use a lot of colors.
Because that can be an annoyance for some stitchers. I bought a
Yeah.
skein of color and I used one length
Yeah.
for the whole
Yeah.
thing, and well, you just added to your stash, so don't complain.
Right.
But
Right.
Right.
come on, who cares? But
Yeah.
I've heard people say, oh, for 5 stitches I had to buy this skein of thread. Yeah, and you'll use it somewhere else.
Yeah.
But so it for you, there's an element of concern in that area, but
Mhm.
still you want the design the way you want the design.
Absolutely. And I try to put a lot of detail into very small spaces. And that kind of means that every pixel matters. I mean, it really, when you're, making a frog with 10 pixels, like every little thing matters.
Right.
So you really do have to be careful about getting enough colors in there to do the job. So yeah, I'm
Mhm.
if I feel I need that color, it's going to stay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it'd be real easy to back off and say, all right, it's only 5 stitches, so I'll just,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
compromise the design so people don't have to buy another skein of thread.
Yeah, and again, sometimes I do look at that and I think, okay, it is just 5 stitches. Is this close enough? And sometimes it is, and sometimes I
Yeah.
can, take that out and make it easier on the stitchers
Yeah.
because I really do try to consider the experience of stitching it while I'm designing, because I've stitched all my life and I don't like big cumbersome patterns with lots of confetti or random 2 or 3 stitches of this color that don't need to be there. I mean, nobody likes stitching like that.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
Yeah.
really do try to think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've been formally designing since 20.
Yeah.
Where do you feel like you're at? Are you in the spectrum of your design ability? Do you feel like you're fairly mature, or you got a long way to go just in your own mind in terms of what you think you can do?
Oh, I feel like I'm always learning new things and
Okay.
exploring new things and
Yeah.
figuring out new techniques and what I can do. And I want to try. I have some other things that I want to try that, yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's ever done. I don't think
Yeah.
you ever feel like you get to a point where you've achieved everything. I mean, I would hope not, actually. I want to
Yeah.
continue
Right.
growing as an artist. So,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I asked that because I would think it would be real tempting to, all right, I found this level of design and this kind of flavor and vein
mhm,
of designs. They're selling real well. I think I'll just
yeah.
sit here and crank them out and just make money. And
You know, I don't know that that works though. I mean, it might
okay.
work for a while, but I think if your heart's not in it, if you're just cranking things out, I feel like people feel that. They feel
Yeah.
your excitement and your passion and the work you put into it. And, I talk to a lot of people on social media and interact with people who are stitching my designs. And, I think that really comes across if you're just kind of doing it for, okay, I can do this and I can make money off of this, and that's enough.
Hmm.
um, and it's just not as satisfying either, just in terms
Yeah.
of how you're spending your time and your work. And it's just,
Right.
I don't know, I want to push myself to try new things, and some of them will work and some of them won't, and I'll learn things. And I think that's way more exciting.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I would imagine you get some pretty immediate feedback with all your stitch alongs
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
that's
I hear everything.
I can imagine. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. How'd you get started doing those? Because that you've got a handful of them. Well, Cindy, which one do you have, Cindy?
The Deadly Aquarium.
mhm.
Yeah, that you're gonna have finished at by Christmas, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Sure.
Uh,
yeah. Because how did you get started with that? I mean, because those are really cool. You've got
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
yeah,
so I just saw that stitch alongs were kind of a thing, and people were
Yeah.
really, really into them. And I thought, well, how fun, how fun to have this community around it. And yeah, so the very first one I did was an ornament stitch along. It was the Cryptid Christmas, so it was like Bigfoot and Mothman and all of those characters in cutesy Christmas scenes. And it was kind of small and manageable, but it was well received, and I realized how much people liked doing stitch alongs. And so then I followed that up with kind of a more, a bigger piece that was a big complete scene. It was the Haunted Library, which was the idea that these characters from these old gothic novels were kind of coming to life in the library and interacting with the books. And it was so much fun to design, and it was fun to interact with the community, and it was well received, and that just really pushed me to do a lot more.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when people do these, is it an element or a piece a month, standard piece a month thing, or how do you do it?
So I'm kind of intense. So the pace
Uh
of my
oh.
stitch alongs is also kind of intense. I usually start with a frame. I call it a frame. It's not the traditional square frame, but it's usually, a structure or something that's
Mhm.
going to be kind of the backdrop for the piece. And people have usually about 6 weeks to finish that. And then I do weekly releases, and
Oh
I
my.
try to keep them manageable size. That's kind of hard to define because different people have different ideas about what's
Right.
manageable. But
Right.
I do that, and I put some break weeks in there so that people can have time to catch up. But yeah, I do them weekly.
Wow. I can't.
Yeah.
I don't do them because I can't keep up with monthly. So yeah.
Well, and the beauty is you don't have to keep up. Like sometimes it's just
That's
fun
right.
to be in on the action, even if you're not stitching it, and you can finish stitching it at any time. And I
Right.
try to design them so that none of the elements are really dependent on the previous elements. So let's say some life happens, because life happens, and you don't get to stitch for a month, and you want to jump back in, you can jump back in and finish up the older pieces
Yeah.
later.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Uh,
I've never felt compelled to keep up with a stitch along.
Yeah. No,
I
that's,
I've participated in a lot of them, and I enjoy seeing people's progress. And
mhm.
if I'm working on mine, I'll post my progress too. But uh, if if I'm working on something else and I don't have time to start the new thing, I just collect the charts, and then
Right.
when I'm ready to do it, I'll just sit down and stitch it.
Yeah. And some of the fun is watching what other people are doing and seeing the releases
Absolutely.
as they come out. It's about
Yeah.
it's about the excitement of the process, not necessarily about whether or not you're caught up with the stitching.
Right.
Yeah.
Are your designs? I didn't think about this ahead of time, but are they such that people will change the colors, or do they pretty much stick to what you've designed in
So
in
I'd say
in,
both.
in these stitch alongs? Because some of these stitch alongs, people will go off and do their whole color thing and come up with
Yeah.
amazing things. But you have little animals and
Hmm.
characters that I'm not always sure lend themselves to changing colors. But do people do that?
Yeah, so I find that sometimes there are color changes. More often, it's that they leave some of the elements, but maybe they replace some of them with their own elements. So,
Oh,
like with a bunch of birds, there were some people who wanted flamingos, and I couldn't. There were too many birds; I couldn't fit everything in there. And so, some people took out one or two characters to put in their own preferred characters. And sometimes they chart them themselves. Sometimes they take bits from other designs, and it's a way for
oh,
people to add their own creativity to, not
Hmm.
that the stitching part isn't creative, but, add their own design creativity to the
right.
project and make it their own. And it's really neat.
Hmm.
It's really
Yeah,
neat. But yeah, so I do have a lot of people who will change up the design, not so much the color of individual elements.
yeah. Okay, all
Yeah.
right. Yeah, because that's got. I mean, to me, if I were a designer, it would part of the fun of it for me would be seeing what people do with my design.
Hmm.
I mean, I would that would be what would excite me is, oh, I never thought of that. That well
Right.
played. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. You're kind of crowdsourcing, and sometimes they'll do things, and you'll think, "Wow, I wish I had thought of that. That's
Wish
so
I
much
thought of
better."
that. Yeah.
But but yeah, it's exciting. It's like the project is coming alive. You're not only designing a piece of art for people, you're giving them something that can help them express their creativity too, and it's really cool.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
really cool.
Yeah. Ah, fun stuff. And then,
Mhm.
and the thing that stood out with just about all your designs, especially the more recent ones, is it looks like you're always telling a story.
Oh,
I mean,
Mhm.
that means a lot to hear that because that's what I want to do.
okay,
That's what I want to do with
because
them.
that's what came out. It wasn't, oh, here's a design with birds, or here's a design with
Hmm.
what the one with the acorns. Here's a
Right.
design with squirrels and acorns. But immediately there's a story, and then when I looked at it, my mind starts putting the story together,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it added such a nice element to it. And that's really why I think I'm going to get a couple of years. I
Oh.
gotta because it's another dimension.
Hmm.
That yeah.
Well, yeah,
Right.
that's important to me. I think I usually start with a subject, but I think about, well, especially if you're doing animals, an animal doesn't happen in isolation. It interacts with its environment. It has a
Right.
personality and activities, and I really like to think about, okay, if I'm going to put something in a design, how does it fit with the other things in the design, and how do they come together and tell a story of what's going on in that
Mhm.
scene? And so,
Yeah.
yeah, I try really hard to bring that element.
Yeah. Well, it's there. There's
Yeah.
no question. It's
Good,
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
good.
Well played. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
The acorns and friends. I love the possum
Oh, yeah, he's playing possum.
playing possum. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is one of the things that I really like about your designs. They're I mean animals. Yeah. Raccoon, skunk, whatever. But then you've got the possum playing possum. So there's
Right.
this little twist in so many of your designs. They're just a little bit edgy and very sciencey, which I like a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
It's important to me to bring some, and obviously there's a lot of fantasy in the pieces, but it's important to me to bring
Mhm.
some level of accuracy scientifically and make sure that I am representing the animals as they are.
Yeah.
Well, and that's one of the things that I thought was really, I mean, it's not part of the stitching, but in the
Mhm.
Deadly Aquarium, you've got an illustrated index
Yeah.
with the scientific names of the animals and plants and a little paragraph about each of them. So and I love the danger level.
Right. Yeah, I put the fire danger level signs that get posted out in the wilderness.
Mhm.
I took that and I put the danger level of each creature in
Yeah.
the in the aquarium.
I
But
missed that. I missed that
yeah,
in the picture. Oh man. Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
And some of them look
Uh,
creepy but aren't that dangerous. But yeah.
right. 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 Yeah. So, that's an extra level of creativity in my mind, and that's the kind of thing that will draw me to these kinds of patterns every time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, when I'm putting them together, I'm learning a lot about these animals, and it's so fun to learn about them, and I want other people to
Mhm.
get excited about these strange creatures that actually exist, and learn a little.
Mhm.
And I feel like it'll be a more fun experience for people if they can have that element.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, and for me, it was it's like some art forms. Well, it's like a lot of art forms. Uh, Movies are another one where the more you look at it, the more you see. And
Hmm.
and
Mhm.
and in yours, it's not. Oh, this is an element when I stitch it or not. So wait a minute. Over here's this, and over here's that, and
There's
yeah,
a lot going on.
there is. It's fun. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fun. Yeah.
that's good.
So
And
yeah,
I got a kick out of the cat window
Right.
series. Did you look at those, Gary?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The Kraken
Yep. I
and
know. I
and
know.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You have fun with it. That's
I
yeah.
do. I
It's
do.
not.
Well, cats clearly see stuff going on that we don't.
We don't
And
see. Yeah.
and they wouldn't even care. A cat would just
No.
watch whatever happening outside and
Right.
they
Because
would
they
just watch
don't
it
know
all
it's weird.
day long. Right?
Yeah,
Uh,
I love those. Those are great. Yeah.
No,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah. Yep. No, it's cool stuff. It really is fun stuff. So you how do you have like a schedule where I say I want to get six designs out in a year, or do you just let that flow as it does?
A little bit of both because I try to do one big stitch along every year, and sometimes I'll do a smaller Christmas one too. But that usually releases in the spring, so I absolutely have to have that well planned and well scheduled. And I have my stitch alongs planned out 2 years in advance because they're
Oh,
big projects with all the research, everything that has to go into them. So that has
Mhm.
to be pretty carefully scheduled. Um, and I have um, 4 exclusives planned for next year, so those also kind of have to be scheduled out. So I really prioritize the things that have deadlines, and then and I have a few other projects that I want to get in there, but sometimes things take longer than you anticipate, especially cross stitch. It's a pretty slow art.
yeah.
So in terms of the things that have to get done, I definitely schedule those. The other stuff, it's more when I have time, if I can get it done. So yeah, a little of both.
Do you pressure
The
yourself or you just let it go?
Oh yes. Oh
Oh,
yes.
okay. Okay. Yeah.
Oh yes. No, I'm kind of the anti-procrastinator. I mean, I'm just yeah, I definitely put
Yeah.
a lot of pressure on, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And a
so
night owl
have
on
you
top of it. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. Have you got like a notebook or something where you write down all your ideas
Um,
or a
yes, yeah.
spreadsheet?
Yeah, I'm more of a spreadsheet person for sure. A calendar and a
Yeah.
spreadsheet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
Yeah. Now, do you do the like the Nashville market? Do you do the shows or?
So I've never gone to Nashville. I have been doing the Needlework Marketplace online show every
Oh,
year, and
okay.
I've done that for the last 2 years. I've thought about Nashville, and I think it would be really fun. It's kind of tricky because that's when I have my stitch along releasing.
Hmm.
And you have to have new patterns every year for that. So
Mhm.
um, it's not really in the near future for me in terms of the amount of demand that would take.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it would be fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's a cool show. There's no doubt.
yeah,
I mean, it's cool. But and I asked that because when it comes to doing a show like that, yeah, then you have to show up. You can't just show up with one new design. You got to,
right,
yeah,
right.
and that
You need
adds,
several.
and then you back that up how many months before you have to get started, and
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
yeah, it,
yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're stitching all your own models,
Right.
that
Right.
adds extra time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, Nashville's one of those things that just had to, it didn't make the cut yet in terms of, my schedule.
Yeah.
It just, yeah. Yeah. You have to choose. You have to choose what you
Sure.
reasonably think you
Hmm.
can do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
When you stitch
Right.
your own models, is that, I mean, obviously that's a dynamic process, but
Hmm.
do you, when you sit down and stitch a design, do you discover most of the time you pretty much have it nailed, or
Never.
never? Okay.
A
Okay.
lot of my designing happens while I stitch, actually.
Oh, it does.
Um,
Okay.
so I do, I
Oh.
certainly do draw it in the software, but I make a lot of changes as I go. And a lot of it's about making sure that all the colors are going to balance properly. And as much as
Hmm.
you use the same colors over and over again and you think you know what you're doing,
Uh-huh.
sometimes that has to change. But also, again, when you're working small, you have to put a lot of subtlety in the details to get the effect that you want. And sometimes that's just really hard to
Hmm.
do on the screen, because no matter how close you get with the color matching on the screen, it's not going to look the same stitched. So I definitely do a lot of adjustments and editing as I stitch.
When it comes to stitching, is there I'm going to sit down and work on my designs, and then I'm going to have other stitching sessions where I'm just going to relax and stitch because it's fun to
Hmm.
do? I mean, do you make that differentiation?
I do. And usually when I'm starting stitching a new project with that blank canvas and I don't have to think about what needs to be edited, that's the stitch and relax phase.
Okay. Yeah.
It's the completing the design that tends to be more of the rigorous editing part of it. So yeah, I definitely have to carve out some of that just stitch and relax fun time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I'd love to see
Because
one of your.
otherwise it's not fun anymore.
Right, exactly, exactly. It becomes a drag if it, yeah, and
Hmm.
the reality is there's going to be in any job there's going to be parts of it that are just really fun and parts of it that are just more of a chore you have to get done. And
Right.
it's this job's more fun than chore, so I'll take it.
Yep. Darn
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Well, I'd love to see one of your charts after you get done stitching it for the first time. I bet there's notes all over the place.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
riddled. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So, do we have the next stitch along? That comes out in the spring. Do we have that all ready to go, or are you
I am just about to start the artwork on it. So it's all
okay?
mapped out conceptually. I have an outline and all of that. And I'll probably do the bulk of the artwork design in December and January.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have a couple of projects I had to finish up this month. So I'm trying to finish those up first.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now we should tell people: is there a newsletter? They just need to go to your social media accounts. How do they keep up, especially to get in on the stitch along? How do we?
Yes. Yeah. So a little of both. Probably Instagram is best, and I have a private Facebook group. So those two are where social media areas are where I'm most active. I do have a newsletter that they can sign up for on my website. I don't send out a lot, but if it's something big like a stitch along, I will send out a notification that that's coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And the Facebook is private, so sign up,
Any,
answer a question, and
yeah.
yeah,
Anyone can join. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, great.
Good.
Yeah. So that comes out in March. Then is the next
Probably. I don't have a set schedule, but definitely in the spring.
roughly.
I kind of like to get a little farther along with the artwork and see where I'm at with it before I commit to an exact date, because I think there's a little flexibility in when I can release it, but most of
Hmm.
them I've released in late March, early April.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So people can look for that.
Yeah.
How are you finding the market playing out in terms of PDF downloads and printed charts? Is it leaning toward PDF downloads, or is it still a mixed bag?
So I started exclusively with downloads, and the first 3 years, I guess, of my business, I was exclusively selling downloads. And that's robust. It's very easy to access. It's people can have it instantly. And then it's been in the last couple of years that I've started wholesale to shops with print charts, and it's really both have been going well.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to say. I definitely do more sales as PDFs. but it's hard to compare because they're two completely different markets. Because the one is the wholesale side of it, and I'm really just grateful and pleased that shops have embraced that, and it's gone pretty well. But I'm going to continue to do both, and I love the idea of also supporting other small businesses by offering charts in shops.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wonder because that's, I mean, for me, I like having the actual paper,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the convenience of a download on a Sunday night, you see something, you buy
Right.
it, and you have it in your hands. That's hard to
Yeah.
beat. Yeah,
And fortunately, there are people that like both,
yeah.
or that like either or. Like
Right.
some people prefer one form and some people prefer the other form. I definitely am a print out and work from paper kind of person. So I understand.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I understand that.
yeah. I ran across a PDF download I bought. I don't even want to know how long ago the other day in my computer. Oh man, I forgot all about that, and so I printed it out so I wouldn't forget it again. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I do like the PDFs, the digital versions.
Hmm.
I use my tablet and I can enlarge the chart, so I don't have to uh, struggle to figure out you know, what the symbol is. Or
Hmm.
I know a lot of people will just enlarge, and I've done that in the past on a copier, but I don't have a copier that will do that. So I like
Yeah.
the tablet.
how do
Yeah,
you?
there's
Uh,
definitely an accessibility issue when it comes to PDFs. Like some people find that easier. And I do, anyone who buys a print chart from me, if they want to work from Pattern Keeper or like I always will just send them the PDF in addition to the print chart if they want it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I tried that with the tablet one time. I couldn't do it.
No.
Uh, How do you do that, Cindy? Do you prop it up somehow, or it just to me it was just give me the paper. I couldn't do it.
Now I have it depends on where I'm stitching. If I'm stitching something that's fairly large and I'm using my floor frame, I have a chart holder
Okay.
that's part of the floor frame, and I just put the tablet there. And or if I'm sitting at a table or something, I use a little, easel to make it stand up.
Mm,
I
okay.
don't like it laying flat. That's hard to see.
Yeah. And see, for me, it was well, I laid it flat, and that was annoying. And then, do I have it on all the time? And because initially, then I forgot, and it would go off. It would go to sleep, and oh man, you got to get it back on. And so, do you have it on all the time? I guess you almost have to, don't you?
Well, I move it enough because
Oh,
I'm not using Keeper. I'm actually using Adobe Acrobat,
okay.
and I paid for it so that I could have the ability to mark it up. So I mark my stitches off as I stitch them, which means that I am picking up the tablet and moving things around on it enough that it doesn't go to sleep. I can't make mine not go to sleep. All I can do is extend it. So
Oh,
it will go to sleep if I get distracted, or if I'm, you know, doing a big block of color, then it will go to sleep and I just have to,
yeah.
wake it up.
I got paper, piece
Yeah,
of
me
paper.
too. Me
I
too.
just gotta have that piece of paper.
But the younger people are gonna go straight for the PDF
Yeah,
Yeah.
and use it on their computer screen or their tablet or something else. Uh,
yeah,
even
Well, and it's great that this technology is encouraging younger people to come into the art form. It's a
Absolutely,
really good thing.
absolutely.
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. There's well, we've been here in recent weeks with my substitute teaching. I've been surprised how many, and these are seventh and eighth graders, how many of them are truly interested
Oh, that's
in
neat.
learning that. And there's one boy. I thought he was just horsing around, but no, he said to me the other day when I was teaching, he says, will you show me how? He says, I'd like to learn how to do that. I said,
Uh-huh.
really? Yeah. He says, I would like to learn. I said, okay, buckle up. Next time I teach, I'm gonna bring in a little bag of stuff for you, and which reminds me, I got to get it together. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, and okay, encourage that. Encourage these young people. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, all right, we got a new design coming out. We got to. Oh yeah, we got to wrap up. Happens every time. We got a new
Okay.
Yeah.
design coming out soon here that we can look for.
I do. I'm releasing a 3 ornament set, and I haven't announced it as of the time we're filming this, but it will be a very Bigfoot Christmas. And
Oh, fun.
it's scenes of Bigfoot celebrating Christmas with his Arctic friends. And actually, the first week and a half of sales will go to benefit Meals on Wheels people. So,
Oh,
Oh,
excellent.
good.
yeah.
Excellent.
That's
Okay.
great.
Yeah. So when do we release that?
November 21st.
November 21. Okay. Oh, that's cool that you're
Yeah.
doing
Hmm.
that. Yeah. Okay. All right.
That's
We'll look for
awesome.
that. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah. All right. Well, Amie, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Great designs. Really enjoyed them.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks.
Fun stuff.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thanks for doing that. Lola Crow CrossStitch.com is the site. Check it out. Get on the social media. Um, get some charts. You'll enjoy them. Thanks, Amie, and thanks to everyone for listening.